let me know when you include your audio.
Audio is included. Well, that was my first win, dude.
You won that? Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And I completely missed it.
Yep. Joker got second.
Alright, we're live and nobody's watching.
Put your Twitch out there.
It's probably everybody's looking for Atlantis.
Put your Twitch in the Discord.
I did.
Okay. Alright, when you're ready, I'm ready.
You think we should wait for somebody to be watching?
It's up to you.
Let me get my laptop up here though. Actually, give me a minute because I gotta set it up anyway. Then I'll wait for some people to start watching. I got so flustered with this because, you know, this was all supposed to work out.
Yeah, that is kind of disappointing.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I said it a couple times, but, you know, stuff happens. You just gotta roll with it. Do you want to make a post in the NASCAR Heat community that we're changing it? Can you do that while I'm setting this up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Okay.
You have 13 in the party watching. He said, Free said, tell Slide Job not to say shit, lol. You have 13 watching. Can I join the party?
It says I have 0 watching. Is there something wrong with my... How do you know there's 13 watching?
Frey Dog just said that.
Oh shoot, it says 23 now. Wow, okay. Hello everybody. Sorry about that, my Twitch was acting up. I apologize everybody for the little bit of miscommunication. We were supposed to be showing you some live footage of some stuff, but you know, things happen. However, the show must go on. So I want to welcome everybody to the first broadcast of the Fast Family League Showdown. We will be getting underway around July 24th with the first race and continue on from that. So Ford, how you feeling about this tournament?
Oh, I'm feeling great. Got a lot of people in here. 40 leagues, 400 drivers. This is a big event. I'm so excited to be a part of this and help put this thing on. I can't wait to watch some of the action. We got a lot of good leagues in here, and I want to see who's going to take home that big old trophy.
Absolutely. It's going to be a exciting event from beginning to end with some surprises along the way. Maybe we'll see some upsets. Maybe we'll see some people that we expect to do well. So it's all in the game. All right. So as far as the bracket goes, there were, based on size of leagues and distribution of pro league drivers and all that, 9 teams were seeded, which means they were placed on the bracket and they were spaced out evenly and arranged in order of preset and custom leagues. So the whole bracket has a balance of preset and custom leagues that were seeded. The following leagues are seeded: Fast Family Racing League, IVRL or International Virtual Racing League, SXRL, Sebi's Xbox Racing League, eSpark, American Ethanol, Rock Solid Racing, or RSR, Pure Speed Elite Series, PSES, No Name Racing League, NNR, and finally, North American Online Racing, or NAOR. So a lot of you guys have probably heard some of these. Ford, I know you heard some of these. What do you think about these 9 seeded leagues?
Oh, that's if they all make it to the final rounds, man, that's going to be some intense racing. All those guys are fast. I hope nobody gets a big upset. But you know, anything can happen with that. Anybody. I mean, stuff happens, but hopefully those guys can make it.
Absolutely. I think everybody in this tournament is, choosing those guys as your favorites, but certainly, anything can happen, and there's a possibility that all these guys could lose out. So, we will see. All right, so how this is going to work is we have a random name generator here that will be filling the remainder of the slots on the tournament bracket. So, starting at the top with our first seeded league is Fast Family Racing. And we will be starting with their opponent, and then looking up the next 2 would be a matchup, and then third and so on would be the one that goes against IVRL. So we're gonna do it in that order. So let's begin. So who will be taking on Fast Family Racing in the first round? Let's see who it is. And the generator is spinning. The league that will be taking on Fast Family Racing League in the first round is Game Fuel NASCAR Cup Series. So, Ford, what do we know about Game Fuel NASCAR Cup Series?
To be honest, I mean that's one of those newer leagues. Like we talked about before, there's a lot of leagues that we didn't even know existed. So I hope they bring their A game. I know there's a lot of fast guys in that Fast Family Racing League. So I hope they definitely bring their A game, and I wish them luck in that first race against Fast Family.
Absolutely. I'm a little biased myself because I come from Fast Family. We definitely have a lot of fast guys. But, those Game Fuel guys are, from what I've heard, are a bunch of young guys, new upstarting league. But, they will come to race. So it'll be a great matchup. I can't wait to be on track with those guys. And may the best league win. All right. So moving on, we're going to pick 2 this time. So these next two will be your second matchup of the tournament bracket. So let's find out who the first one is. And the generator is spinning. Who will it be? All right, Checkered Chasers League will be the first one of match number 2. So Ford, what do we know about Checkered Chasers League?
Not a whole lot. I did not get a chance to read their bio in the. There's a lot of leagues. It's hard to keep up with all of them.
That is true.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about them. I've seen them active in the chat, but I have not had the opportunity to actually chat with them. But like I said, these 9-seeded teams, they do have, a lot of good racers, but I'm not going to count them out of anything. I mean, they showed up. I think they know they have something to show us. So let's see how they do, and I wish them luck in that second race there.
Absolutely. Well, let's not waste any time. They are going right up against Wolfpack Racing League.
Ooh, Wolfpack Racing.
WPRL. Yes, sir. So I believe we got a little bit of information about them. Yes, so they are a little bit smaller league. They were started last year. I've got 25 drivers, so yeah, a little bit on the small side. So they're a little newer. And I think it was started by two guys named WPRL Fan and Rowdy Raptor. So they started small. They're, one of those newer leagues. So here we go. Two newer leagues going at it.
I practiced with some of those guys.
Oh, you did? Go ahead.
Oh yeah. We practiced a little bit at Auto Club, and I can tell you they weren't at the back. They. Oh.
Absolutely. Okay, hold on, we're getting word that we're losing audio for a second. Hopefully that'll fix it. Hey, Brian, can you hear it again?
Well, I understand we got to talk, but...
Yeah. Sorry about that, folks. If you can hear me, we apologize for technical difficulties.
Well, let's see what they're saying.
Xbox is being a little weird.
Yeah, let me log on to Twitch here and make sure. I can also see if there's audio. Oh, sweet.
Okay, good. Thank you, NCAR. Yeah, so, just to recap, the two leagues that were just randomly drawn for matchup number 2 is Checkered Chasers League and Wolfpack Racing League. So that will be your second matchup of the night. So that's 2 of 20. And by the way, just so you guys know, afterwards we will be posting a full bracket. So if you missed tonight's broadcast or you're just forgot what we said, we'll be posting it fully. All right, so moving on. We are finally on our second seeded team. So we are on IVRL. So while I hit the random generator, Ford, why don't you talk a little bit about IVRL?
Oh, IVRL is another one of those fast leagues. You got Randy Henshaw. He's the leader of that league. Yeah, he's got a couple people from everywhere, aka. I also had the pleasure of running with them, won a few races there, but it was not easy. So whoever they're going against, they better figure out where they're running, and they better practice, because that's all those boys do, in the late evenings is practice. They definitely will bring their A game.
Absolutely. Well, let's not keep you waiting. They are going up against Down South Racing League. This is another one of the newer ones on the block this year. They are a smaller team, but they've definitely, I agree with you, Ford, they've definitely got their work cut out for them here, as IVRL is a tough matchup to go against. So, another one of those seeded matchups that we will see during this competition in the first round. So, good luck to both those teams. And you know what that means. In matchup number 4, we're going to have two unseeded teams going head-to-head. So let's find out who the first one is. And that first one is Carolina Racing League. So I could speak a little bit about this one. This is Dill Pickle and Sam's League. The Carolina boys, they are fast. A bunch of those guys, I actually got to do my first start at Texas with those boys last week, and man, they were fast. They're a custom league though, so there might be a little bit of an adjustment getting to the presets, but I can imagine those two, along with their league, can really pull together and put on a show on presets. So can't wait to see who they go up against. And
Exactly.
let's find out.
Sweet. Hey, if you know some things about
All
these
right.
leagues, please do put in
They
some
are
input.
going up against Quarantine Racing League. So Ford, you know a little bit more about Quarantine Racing League.
Quarantine. I don't believe I have raced with them. I do think I know a few of those guys um, in that league, and I think I've raced with a couple of them. You know, I guess I can honestly say, don't remember, where they finished. I mean, but if I've raced with them and if we've had good races, I believe they'll put on a pretty good show. Um, Definitely going against
Absolutely.
Carolina. That's another one of those. Just figure out where you're at, make your figure out what kind of adjustments you can do, and definitely put on that good show.
Absolutely. And it's very interesting because this is probably the newest league in this competition, and you can kind of guess from the name, it was started in April when the COVID crisis came out. So, these guys have just been running together for a couple months, but they've got 30 strong. They race 2 different series, and they're actually talking about expanding to a third coming up in August. So, they are a new league, but, I'm sure they've got a ton of speed, and they're definitely going to be a challenge for the Carolina boys. So we will
Yeah, when I
see.
reached out to them, they were kind of unsure, but I'm glad they came around, and let's see what they can bring to the table.
Absolutely. All right. So now we are getting down to, I believe, our 5th matchup of the night. And we are at another seeded team. We are at SXRL. So this is Sebi's league. This is definitely one of the favorites coming in because they are not only a preset league, but they have some firepower guys in there. I believe this is the home of Lucky Dog, among other, top 24, top 50 drivers. So this will be a challenging matchup for whoever their opponent is, for sure. I actually got to race with them a few times already, and man, yeah, they are super quick. So let's see right away who they will be going up against in the first round. They're going against All Out Racing League. So, Ford, what do we know about All
Oh
Out Racing
wow.
League?
Um, I'm not exactly sure who All Out is. You know, welcome to them because I've never heard of them. I mean, like I said, with so many leagues out there, I just can't keep up with them all. But hopefully after all this is over, I can keep tabs with all these guys and get to know them because I hope this league shootout is going to go on for quite a while. So hopefully I can stay in contact with all these guys and see them for the next time. So sorry I don't know you, but welcome, and I'm sure I'll get to know your name by the time this is over.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a little bit older league. This was started by 2 guys that I'm very familiar with because they actually are in my league currently, among others,
Oh,
obviously. Hatchet Boss and Upcountry Bullet.
oh,
It was
up
actually
country.
founded in January of 2009. So this is an old league. They do keep it pretty tight though. Only 20 drivers currently. But they said they're a very tight friend group. They've been racing for over 10 years. And a lot of these guys originated on dirt. So that's going to be very interesting. Can they translate that to asphalt? And then they also mentioned one of the other cool things about them is one of the owners is from Canada. So and the other one is from the U.S. So they really go after the saying "two countries, one love" because there are 2 countries that definitely love racing, and they've come together for that reason. So fantastic group of guys. Can't wait to see how they do against SXRL.
I know if up country's running that league. I raced with him tonight at Daytona. Awesome. I don't know where he finished at, but I know he's one of those guys that can hold a line and he makes sure his guys are clean. So that's going to be a good matchup.
Absolutely. All right. So we are now in, I believe, the 6th matchup of the night, if not the 7th. I'm not keeping track on that, but what I am keeping track of is who is the next next league going up against another unseeded league. Our first one is Wild Sports Racing League, WSRL, owned by the famous Wild Will C in the Heat community. So what do you know about them, Ford?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I just learned that they existed when we started this up.
That's a trick question. So I actually do know a little bit about them. I was invited to race with them by Wild Will. Great group of guys. I know they've changed quite a few guys over there recently, but at least when I raced with them, they were a bunch of clean guys. They were super fast. That's a preset league, if I remember correctly. So definitely challenging.
So they might have a little bit of advantage.
Yeah, I mean I agree. It's
Nice.
gonna be home turf for them for sure. All right, well let's not keep you waiting. These guys are going up against Unbound Cup Series. Now I personally haven't heard of these guys until they signed up. Ford, do you know anything about them?
No, I've had a little bit of conversation with them in the Discord there, and they seem like a pretty good group of guys. I won't know until we get them on the track. Until we get them to the track, but hopefully they will bring their A game, and we'll see if they can make it to the top.
All right, yeah, I'm just gonna make sure I am looking at the chat while we're doing this because we do want to interact with you guys. There's 76 of you out there currently right now. We appreciate all of you for watching tonight. It's all of you guys that make this event amazing and what it is. So thank you guys for participating and signing up. We're going to move on to our next seeded match. And Ford, you can tell me way more about this than I can tell you about it. We are going to start with eSpark.
Ooh, eSpark. Oh, whoever gets them, you definitely better be practicing day and night. Those guys, great group of guys. I think I'm fast, but those guys just dominate. They are a custom league, so, who knows if somebody will have an advantage with somebody being on a preset. But, like I said, those guys, I haven't been able to keep up with some of them. I know Encar's fast. I know Ward Burton out there, he's fast. So many guys out there.
Too bad they're in SXRL. There we go.
But so they got a shout out for being in eSparks. But yeah, it's just it's a great league. I'm proud to run in it. So they are going to bring their A game. So whoever runs against them, you better bring your A+ game.
Absolutely. I know Fry Dog's been out there recruiting and getting his boys wound up and ready to go. So that's going to be great. Just looking at the chat, we see Wild Will C's out there. We are looking forward to seeing you out there. A10 saying he wants to know who his league's going to get matched up with. We will see you guys, I'm sure, shortly. Who else we got out there?
Is in there.
Colin says, is there any way we can get a visual on the picks? We wish we did. We had this plan, but some things happened just before we got started, and we weren't able to get the visuals. I'm sorry that happened, but we are going to move on no matter what. A lot of people saying, come on, get eSpark. Somebody saying Team SXRL, that's NCAR. Well, thank you. And Team Wolfpack is out there. We saw you guys matched up a little bit earlier, so Can't wait to see you guys. All right, let's move on. So drum roll please, who's eSpark going up against? Well, none other than the Genesis Sports League, GSL.
GSL.
Yeah, Ford, you know a little bit about them.
Yeah. A few. I ran with them a little bit. They are a preset league. You know, they got some fast guys in there. My buddy Trucker, Justin Wilson, he runs in there. He's pretty fast. He also ran in the AARL with me. Brandon, you know, he definitely has, you know, strategies down. So they are, you know, probably going to be challenged a little bit. You know, like I said, eSpark has those really fast guys. But you know, I think it's still going to be a good matchup because they are a bunch of clean drivers, and that's going to be definitely a race to watch. No matter who you pull it for, it's probably going to have a lot of action.
Oh, for sure. And from my notes, Genesis Sports League was founded in 2012, so they're another one of those older ones. Actually, surprisingly older than eSpark, if I'm not wrong there. They do have a roster of around 45 drivers, so they're a little bigger. So, you know, I can't imagine that these boys won't have something for eSpark. And could this be the one upset, or one of a few upsets that we see? I don't know how to answer that.
All I gotta say is, are you ready? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, I don't think anyone in the audience can hear our producer back here, but he said it depends on the track. So yeah, we're just so you guys know while you're watching, we will be picking the tracks right after this. So please stay tuned, and you know, even if you've already been picked for your matchup, stay tuned for your track, because I feel like a lot of you guys are saying that's more important. I want to know where I'm gonna be so I can practice. So we will get that to you. But anyway, moving on to our next matchup, we've got Urge to Rush, UTR. What do we know about UTR, Ford?
They are kind of a newer one to me. I've been so busy at the police department, I haven't really had a lot of time to read everybody's bio. But they are new to me. I do believe they were in the one of the practices that we had last night. But you know, like I said, I don't know a lot about them, so I can't say nothing bad about them. You know, yes. But you know, welcome, and let's put on a good show.
Absolutely. Yeah, I actually don't see in my notes yet anything about them, so you know, definitely new to both of us, so I cannot wait to see these guys and what they've got. But let's find out here who those guys are up against in one moment here. The list pool getting smaller. Okay.
March of 2019.
That's what we thought. So a slightly newer league. You know, they've got about, you know, a year or a season, depending on how long their season is, under their belt. But
that's just enough time to have the experience to run on Heat 5. So yeah, absolutely. I think that qualifies them to be somebody to watch out for.
Oh yeah, and who are they going up against? But none other than a little on the high side. So I actually got a chance to run with these boys last week. We did a Talladega race, and these guys have been around for a while. But they are a great group of guys, a bunch of fast guys. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to run another race that wasn't a plate track to kind of see how those guys attack other tracks, but they were very good plate racers. So if they make it to the third round, this serves as a warning to everybody else. Watch out. These guys are good. So we will cannot wait to see these guys. No. All right. So that is going to fill up that matchup against Urge to Rush. So Ford, we've actually gotten to our next seeded matchup. So this next one is going to be American Ethanol. So American Ethanol, that's Alpha York's league. If you haven't gotten to meet him, wonderful guy. I've had a lot to do with him recently. He actually invited the entire community to his league's All-Star race not too long ago. What a great event that was. It was at Charlotte. He had a big open. I think it was like 30-some cars that were in the open to get into a few spots against his league drivers in their All-Star race. That went fantastic. And then I've been recently running with them, but I think the most notable, and it's on everyone's mind, is in Alpha York's roster is NNR Asbill. And this guy has been lighting up the truck and Xfinity series at NNR, but he's racing for American Ethanol. So, I'm sure a couple of the NNR guys are like, oh man, why couldn't you run for us? But he is fast, and he's a preset racer. So, will he contribute a lot to the team, and what do the rest of those guys have for their opponent? Remains to be seen. So, go ahead, Ford.
Oh, I didn't say that. I was laughing.
Oh, it sounded like you were going to say something. Okay. So, here we go. They're going to go against Impact Racing League.
Impact Racing League.
So, what do we know about Impact, Ford?
Now, I have heard, I have not been able to race with them, but I've seen them in the NASCAR Heat community, and from what I've heard, they have a lot of fast guys. I don't recall if they run presets or customs, but I mean, I've heard they claim to be fast. So I can't verify that, but we shall see.
Oh yeah, agreed. And just checking in the chat while we're going through, Wolfpack Racing says their All-Star race is going to be at Bristol. So they're lining up with what NASCAR just announced this year. That's really awesome. UTR says ours is at Sonoma. That's a challenging one to have an All-Star race at, but man, you are going to definitely earn that one. And someone said, are people going to try and stack their league with drivers that have not been racing there before? That's the thing. A lot of these leagues we've never heard of, but most of the drivers in the bigger leagues have been, picking the league that either they started with or they run the most with. So I don't think anyone's really doing that. It's really the spirit of the event to race with a league that you've been a part of. So, and we actually somebody also said, when is Days of Thunder Racing League going to be picked? Well, you can ask the random generator that. I actually don't know that. Left Turn Looney's checking in. Thanks for coming, guys. We were going to get to you soon too. But as far as Impact Racing League, I apologize for going off tangent a little. From what I've heard, they actually were split off of, if anyone's ever heard of, Misfits Racing League. They did have a lot of guys, and they split off there. Average Joe runs that one. Great guy. They do a lot of good stuff over there, so that's going to be a really good matchup against American Ethanol. So we will see those guys soon. All right, so that leaves us.
Rip to Impact.
Oh, don't say that. Hey, GSL's in the audience. We actually just picked your matchup not too long ago, but yeah, definitely exciting to see where all these guys are gonna end up. You're welcome, Asbill. You are definitely one of the fastest guys I know of. You definitely deserve a lot of credit, man. One of the cleanest guys I know. So.
Genesis, absolutely. You are going against eSpark, so you better start practicing.
Absolutely. All right, next we're moving on to our next unseeded matchup. So let's see who the first one is going to be. Someone said, wait, no, I'm slow. Well, hopefully you're going to be fast in a couple weeks here. You definitely want to get the lead out. We are going to start with eNASCAR Elite Association, ENEA. So this is one of the newer ones. I think we have a little bit of notes if I can find them on ENEA. If you have anything, Ford, jump right in till I find mine.
Uh, I don't have any notes on them on my
Okay, I've got
side.
it. So they are a new league founded this year. They've got 27 drivers. They run actually all 4 series, including the dirt. So very
Nice.
interesting there. And they said one of the big emphasis they have is bringing low-skilled drivers in and building them up. So they said, they're not one of the leagues that tries to scout the fastest guys right away. They try to take guys that, want to learn, build them up, and make them fast. So usually in the long run, that's going to build a very fast roster for you. So good choice there. We will find out who they are going up against in a second here. And their opponent is 3 Wide Racing. So Ford, you know a little bit about these guys.
Yes, I do. Old Goodweiser, Racer Mike. I think Smackaho is in that one. Or is it Smack? But yeah, those guys are great guys, very clean guys. They will race you hard, so I hope you can handle that a little bit. They won't wreck you, but they'll race you hard and clean. But Goodweiser, he's one of the fastest guys I know. We've raced side by side everywhere we went. But all those guys are great guys. Everybody will definitely get along. Tempers may spark a little bit, but they never take it personal. They do it for the fun. So definitely a good matchup there.
Absolutely, yeah. And I believe, to correct you a little bit, it's NSM Smack that runs
That's it.
3 Wide Racing. Yeah. Yes, great guy. I love to talk to him. So can't wait to see that great matchup. Moving on, we are now on we're just over the halfway point on our bracket. Actually got 3 more seeded teams on the board still. So our next seeded team on the list is RSR, Rock Solid Racing League. This is founded by Mr. Brian Turner. Great guy. I've got to race with him in quite a few leagues. And he definitely has a strong roster for this race, I'm sure. We haven't gotten a look at it yet, but I know quite a few guys in there that are super fast, and they are a custom setup league though, so it's going to be interesting to see how they adjust, as well as eSpark and a couple others, to the presets. But I can't imagine they'll be slowing down at all on the presets. So can't wait to see them in action here. So who is going to go up against one of these quote-unquote favorites? None other than Mountain Dew Southern Series. So this is definitely one of the other new ones. And I do not have any notes on them whatsoever. They are a newer league entering the competition. I don't know if you've got anything for it.
I do not have anything for them. I don't know what days they are available. I don't know anything about them. But hopefully they will show up and race a good race. Congratulations for shit, I forgot what I was going to
say. Well, somebody in the chat says everyone loves some Mountain Dew, so absolutely, I agree with that. Yeah. And hopefully they can bring some. Yeah, right. Hopefully they can bring some of that Mountain Dew energy into the competition and give RSR a challenge of a lifetime. NASCAR Zach in there. Says still waiting on Ultra. Yeah, we haven't gotten to them yet, but sure enough. And Fatless Diggs out there says shout out to 3 Wide. Good luck to them. So yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yep. So and A10 says I'm more of a Coke guy. Oh man. I love Coke too, but Mountain Dew is
I'm a Pepsi
certainly
guy,
awesome.
so I'll give him a shout
Oh,
out.
now we're
Mountain
having
Dew
a
Racing.
debate. Somebody's saying Dr. Pepper. Oh, what have we done? What have we done? All right. Definitely get some attention. Shout out to those Mountain Dew Southern Series boys. If you're watching, you definitely came in with a bang with your name. All right. So now we're moving on to a unseeded matchup. We are going to have Palmetto Racing League. So this one I just became aware of through my own league. One of our drivers, Zachary 7007, one of our newest Cup drivers, actually is, I believe, a co-owner, or at least runs in that league. And he said there's a bunch of fast guys over there, and they were up for the challenge. So I can't wait to see these guys race. I haven't had the pleasure of running with them yet, but we can't wait to see them. And somebody in the chat said, has HRL been called yet? No, they have not. They are still on the board.
It's coming.
All right. Yep, we are getting down there. So who is going to be going up against the Palmetto series? We are going to have Hatch Racing League. So somebody just said, has HRL been called yet? There they are. Hatch Racing League. Do we know anything about them, Ford?
I do not, but if they'll put a little bit of information in the chat, we'll be glad to read it off.
Absolutely. Yeah, they are, it's actually, a couple people have been asking, where does the Hatch come from? Well, actually, the owner's last name is Hatch, and he said that's how he started it, and it's just ever since, they've never changed it. They've been around since 2015. They said they run Cup and Xfinity. They said they're a small league, but they love to have fun. So we absolutely love that and can't wait for you to have fun during this competition. So thank you for coming. Yeah, someone said founded years ago, consistent 15 guys. Yep, so can't wait to see you guys. Thanks for checking in. All right.
They definitely have the experience on, and they've been around
Absolutely.
for 15 years.
Avis says, let's go ENEA. Yeah, the ENEA boys in the house. Somebody said VNRL.
Yes.
Not yet, boys. Not yet. All right. Now we are up against our next seeded league. This one I actually know personally, Pure Speed Elite Series. So this one's run by
Pure
Mr.
Speed.
Duchev. Yeah, you can talk and I'll talk about it. I think we're both familiar with them. Duchev was actually in the top 24 this year in the showcases. Definitely a great driver. I've gotten to know him a little bit more over the last couple of weeks. He runs a great league over there at Pure Speed. They are a setup league. What do you know about them, Ford?
Well, I know Just Blaze is a little bit upset with me, and I hope he's listening because I upset him at Pocono last night. We had a doubleheader there, and great race. I mean, very little cautions. Sammy ran really good. You got Zach in there. He's definitely a good racer. Everybody in that league is good, and they're as clean as possible. They will run you hard and put you up wet if you let them. So definitely, that's some more that you need to bring your A game for. They run multiple leagues, so I know Sammy, he runs in East Park. Just Blaze, he runs in East Park. So you have a lot of competition in that league. So they will bring their A game.
Absolutely. And another person I know in there that's super fast, he actually got to race in my league for a while. Shout out to JP Big Dogs if you're out there in the audience.
Oh, yeah, JP.
He is he's definitely one of the faster guys you'll meet, especially on the road courses. And he now calls Pure Speed his home. So can't wait to see you out there. There was a question in the chat. Elmut Gaming's asked, what did he ask? He said, if you're in multiple leagues, Can you run in more than one, or do you have to pick one? You have to pick
You'll
one.
have to pick one.
Yep, no double dipping in this tournament. Plenty of leagues, plenty of guys out there. Yep, Alpha York saying PSES, those are my boys too. So not only American Ethanol, but he's in there as well. So can't wait to see those guys. I'm not going to repeat what Elmut Gaming said, but in other words, he said JP is very fast. So yes, I agree. All right, who are they going up against? We will see here in a minute. Pure Speed is going up against Above Average NASCAR Heat 4 Friends, or most recently called Above Average Saturday Night Showdown. So I actually got to race these guys not too long ago as well. I believe it was at Talladega on Saturday night, of course. Saturday Night Showdown. So they are a great group of guys. I loved racing with them. Can't wait to race with them again. A little bit on the smaller side and newer side, but fast nonetheless. So let's see who they... actually, sorry. We know who they're going up against. They're going up against Pure Speed. So what I meant to say is, let's see who the first person is in the next matchup. All right. So our next matchup is going to be started by nope. No, it fooled me. Full Throttle Thursday Night Racing League. Gee, I can't imagine what night they run on, Ford.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. They got an odd schedule.
Absolutely. Well, let's see. I'm not sure, but I might have a little bit of info on them. Bear with me. But yeah, another one of these newer leagues that I actually did not know existed, but we will see what they bring to the table for sure. And oh, yep, here we go. They actually, I did lie to you guys. I thought Quarantine was actually the newest. These guys started only a month ago, May 2020. They've got 15 drivers. They only race Cup on Thursdays, of course. And yeah, they said they're a laid-back racing league, but they've got some speed and they're coming. So can't wait to see these guys.
I like that attitude. I really do.
Absolutely.
I hope they have something for who they're going up against.
Well, let's see who they are going up against. Without further ado, let's see if the generator tricks me this time. Sometimes it slows down and you think it's going to stop. They're going up against the Hybrid Racing League. So this actually is pretty interesting. And, you know, I have not been able to ask their owner yet, you know, why they call themselves the Hybrid. But I can imagine that it has something to do with, you know, I'm just speculating here, but how their schedule is. You know, maybe they run multiple series, you know, in the schedule and not have defined schedules like a lot of leagues. So I've yet to talk to them about that, but it'll be interesting to see what they come up with.
Definitely.
All right, so we have reached our second to last ranked or seeded team, I guess you could say. This one, actually, my crew chief during the showcases runs in it. He's not running for it, but that I know of. But it's No Name Racing League, or NNR.
No Name Racing. Somebody was just asking about that league just a little while ago. Who they were going against.
Well,
yes.
You're about to find out. Yeah, this is definitely one of the largest preset leagues, I think, of anyone during this competition other than SXRL. They might have, you know, the most experience on the presets because they're one of the largest. They have all three top tier series and some of the fastest guys. So shout out to Jim Coey for starting that league and getting his boys ready to go. That's going to be big league to beat. Somebody even said in the chat, NNR will be a force.
And our old boy.
So, and
I'm just
actually,
reading that.
NNR on fire. Yeah, even. And actually, somebody from Hybrid from the last matchup in the chat, thank you for showing up. And everyone says, oh, who is NNR up against? Well, they are going up against All-American Grand National League. So, All-American
Grand.
Yeah, they actually, when I spoke with them, they called themselves the Monster Energy Cup Series, and I was like, I don't think so. But no, that's the full name of their league. They do run all 3 series, as you can kind of tell from their name. But yeah, they are another one of those newer, lesser-known guys. But I can't wait to see what they've got for NNR. You know, we'll see if they could create one of those big upsets that we've been talking about.
I wish them luck. I know those guys are fast over there, but anything can happen.
Absolutely, you know, and like we said before in the broadcast, you know, you never know with the tracks that are going to come out of the generator. We'll see what happens. All right, so now we're into our next unseeded matchup, and you guys were asking about it in the chat. The first one is Ultra. So that's
Ultra.
Yeah. So this was really interesting. I do have some notes on them, and I do want to share this because it's a pretty wild story about some of the beginnings of their league. So the full name is Andrew Tenold. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, I apologize. League Racing Association. They started in May 2011, so they're pretty old. And on NASCAR, the game Inside Line, and they've had 9 seasons so far. And this is the crazy part. So they said when their league moved to Xbox One, a lot of its members jumped over with them. Unfortunately, there were a few that didn't, and they said their first champion, and they said, yeah, this is true, was either one raided by ICE and sent back to Mexico, or they passed away. So hopefully, you know, they're both, you know, kind of scary, but, you know, I hope they didn't pass away, at least, you know. So, but that's a crazy story, you know, very interesting. But anyway, they said they're a preset series. They do have, I didn't see, oh yeah, they said they have 23 active drivers all around the United States. And so pretty interesting. So can't wait to see who those guys are going up against.
Everybody is asking about that story.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what?
I know, isn't that crazy? I mean, you know, stranger things have happened, for sure. You never know what you're going to hear. But anyway, our next, or actually, not our next, the next opponent.
Ultra going up against?
They are going up against NASBROS League. So I'm pretty sure, now you can tell me what you think, and I'd like to hear from them about it, but I think this comes from NASCAR Brothers, or NASCAR Bros. But this pretty neat name, a little bit newer.
Yeah.
I think I might have some notes on them. Let's see. NASBROS. It's pretty ringy. Got a ring to it. I like it.
If they're referring to NASBROS, it says been around since May 2020. 15 drivers, very clean racers, and races hard but clean.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait to see them on track for sure. All right.
And that was Brian TM18 that said that.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Brian, for chiming in. Yeah, I don't think I have any notes on them, so we will move on. We finally are on our last seeded matchup of the night, and that's gonna be one of the first leagues I ever joined. It's NAOR, National, or sorry, National. Wow, I screwed up my own league. Oh, J Paul's gonna be so mad at me. North American Online Racing. So a lot of you guys in chat probably heard of him. J Paul, amazing guy. Probably one of the best mentors I've ever had in NASCAR. He took a chance on me, signing me on his team in SRL, which is another league that a lot of those guys run in. Fantastic group of guys, some of the cleanest, fastest preset guys I've ever met. You know, a smaller league compared to those of NNR and a couple others, but I'll tell you what, those guys are fast. I want to shout out all those guys. It's you know, guys like Chain Graboid and Baritone and Winding Lion and all those guys. They're amazing. I love you guys, and I can't wait to see who you are. It's not, and for Philly out in the, it's not Jake Paul, it's J Paw, actually. JPAU. Q Dog says Team NAOR. There you are, Q Dog. Shout out to you. Definitely one of the most consistent.
And Brian
drivers.
said that was for the All-American National League.
Oh, it's
that comment that I made from.
Oh, I messed up your name. I'm sorry. I was calling him Ultra for this. It's ATLRA. I actually, I don't know how to pronounce that, but I apologize. Yeah, a bunch of people saying Team Naor, J Paul 22. Yep. So who are they going to go up against first round? It's going to be Days of Thunder Racing League.
Days of Thunder. Somebody was just asking about that. So there's your answer.
Beast Hunter checking in. Hashtag Naor. Another one of those guys. All Out Racing League has been matched up. Vic in a box. We will get back with the track. So don't worry if you missed your matchup. Don't worry. It'll be coming soon. But we do have to move on. So NAOR versus Days of Thunder. That's going to be one you don't want to miss. Someone in the chat says, "Don't sleep on ENEA."
Don't sleep.
I don't think any of us are going to sleep on them. We cannot wait for them to come compete and show us what we got. All right. So now the last few are our extra brackets. Because we did have more than 32 signed up, which we are so grateful for. Thank you guys for showing up and giving us such a tremendous attendance for this. We really appreciate it. We really want to bring the community together, and you guys did that. We have so many more leagues than we thought we were going to have. So thank you guys. So we will keep going. We've only got, let's see, 4 more matchups, so let's get started. And by the way, if you're listening and your league isn't signed up, we are still taking registration. We will, add those matchups to the bracket. They won't be as random, but it is what it is. But next on our list is going to be Ultimate Racing League, URL. So, let me see if we have any notes on them. Do you have anything, Ford?
I do not have anything on them. I believe he is another one of the ones that was in the practice. What was that, Monday night? But I don't have anything on them. So they're new to me. I mean, I got to expand my network a little bit and get to learning some of these other leagues, because obviously there's a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's so many leagues out there, and we are so glad to have you racing with us. So
somebody knows him. Mike says, I think I've heard of him.
Okay, well, somebody knows him, so shout
Mark,
out
I'm
to
sorry,
you guys.
Mark Sideways.
Is that okay? Nice. All right, shout out to you, Mark. All right, who will they be going up against? Oh, that's funny. A couple people were saying it in the chat, and here it is. Left Turn Loonies. So a bunch of you guys in the chat.
LTL.
Yeah, we got Pop saying LTL, Left Turn Loonies. Here we go. So, what do we know about Left Turn Loonies? Because I know I have some notes on these guys. You got anything, Ford?
Hold on, Slide Job has a nicer voice than Morgan Freeman. I let him read me a bedtime story.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
Hey, I'll read you a bedtime story anytime. All right, so I do
What
have my
What are
notes
you trying to
pulled
say?
up.
We're putting you to sleep?
Our producer's over here. He's singing us all kinds of bedtime stories. I'm about to fall asleep. All right, but before I do, let's continue. We got Left Turn Loonies was founded in April 2020, so another newer one. After it seemed like they had some trouble getting their league started, but Doug Warren took over ownership and they had their first inaugural race at Bristol. What a tough race to start at. Um, but they have a 22-week season with 12 in the regular season, so they are I believe a preset league. So they do have 13 drivers and they're looking to expose their league, and this is a great place to start. I mean, you guys are getting all the exposure we can give you, so we can't wait to advertise you more and get some eyes on you. So shout out to those LTL boys. All right.
Read East Park a bedtime story. They're gonna need it. Shots
uh,
fired.
right.
Yeah,
All
go
right.
ahead.
So next we got um next two leagues coming up. Our first is gonna be Rowdy Energy Cup Series, or
Rowdy.
RECS. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of them. I certainly didn't until they joined and I got to know a little bit more about them. Let me see if I can get a hold of those notes. Da-da-da. I had them. Sometimes they get moved around. Here we go. So another one of those April 2020 leagues, one of those smaller 15 driver leagues. They said they're a small league with big goals. And I'll tell you what, from someone that started a smaller league myself and grew it to a bigger one, you gotta have big goals, because if you don't shoot for the stars, you're not gonna get anything remotely like what you want. So we can't wait to see you guys perform and then grow as a league in the community, and we are here to support you. So good luck.
Definitely.
You will be going up against Online Motorsports Association, OMA. So this is actually a pretty well-known league. They're probably wondering why they're not seeded, and it's basically because we didn't think we'd have enough room in the bracket to spread them out, but it just so happens that they're all the way down here, so that's great. Online Motorsports, do you know anything about them, Ford?
I'm not exactly sure. I've seen them around, but I have never raced with them.
Okay, well, I've got some notes here. February 2018, so they're a couple years old. 28 drivers across their top series. And they said they prohibit the use of custom setups. So presets is the standard for all of their drivers. So another one of those leagues that's on home turf. So that's awesome.
Nice.
Can't wait to see some preset experience in that matchup against Rowdy Energy. So that'll be super cool to see. All right.
OMA is definitely they are definitely well known. And reading in the chat, OMA is very good. Couple people, giving them shout outs.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Asylum said, I remember my OMA days. So
Yeah, I
definitely
guess a league that's given their start to a bunch of guys that have really blossomed. So must be an awesome
Sweet.
league. I can't wait to meet them and see how they do. All right, we are getting down there to our final 2 matchups. Our first one is going to be Sprite Cup Series. So another one of those soda pop Cup Series. How many Sprite fans are out there? Who knows? I like Sprite. But yeah, definitely one of the newer ones.
Anybody want to make up a Dr. Pepper league?
Yeah, if you want, if you like Dr. Pepper, I'm sure there's a bunch of people that would join you over there. All right, they are going up against Exalta Racing. Exalta. So I've actually heard of them a little bit, bits and pieces. I actually don't know who is in their league, but I've heard the name pop up every now and then. So I can't wait to see who's on that roster. And should be a pretty good matchup between them and Sprite. So we'll see. Will the Soda Pop or the Alex Bowman sponsor survive? As an Alex Bowman fan, I don't know which way I lean on that one, but you know, definitely a good one. Someone said they used to own a league named Exalta, but I'm probably sure it's not the same one, maybe. All right, so we are down to our final 2, so no need to put in the random generator. Our final 2, the first one is Virtual NASCAR Racing League. This is by a guy named Kevin Harvick. I believe it's Kevin Harvick fan. He actually invited me last night to their Truck Series race at Kansas. And he broadcast.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Ford. What did our producer say?
He does broadcast the Xfinity Series for the eSparks League on Saturday nights.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, that's a great league. I got to run with them. I know it was the Truck Series. I know they've got quite a few more drivers, so I can't wait to see who they are. But I know Asylums is in there. I actually raced against him in the showcases. He was super fast everywhere we went, so I'm glad he landed somewhere and can't wait to see him.
Season 8 champ here.
Yeah. We also got.
That's what he said.
Yeah, some people mentioning in the chat there. And then who are they going up against? They're going up against. Now, there's going to be some. I'm sure there's going to be some people in the audience saying, "What? We have another Shake and Bake Racing League." Now, don't get this one confused. This is not Frozen Toes 24's league. We have yet to hear from them if they've grabbed up a league together yet. But either way, we will announce that Frozen Toes will be joining our broadcast team. How many races she will do with us, we're not sure yet, but she will be with us. But either way, the Shake and Bake guys over there at SNBRL will be going up against Virtual NASCAR Racing League in that final matchup. So can't wait to see that one. Whew. Well, that was crazy. What do you think about these matchups, Ford?
Man, there's going to be a lot of good races going on, and I when we're not racing, I'm going to be trying to figure out which one I want to watch, or I want to be broadcast in the broadcast booth with. Man, there's just quite a few that's going to be very, very interesting, and we're going to pick the tracks. You'll know the tracks. Go in there, practice as much as you can. Just remember, all this is going to be on 3 times wear. So I know some of you are used to doing that, especially the eSpark guys. Definitely used to the 3 times wear, and Fast Family Racing is used to the 3 times wear. So definitely get used to it. Actually, running that, you might get accustomed to it and want to run it in your own league. Because it does make definitely strategies more interesting.
Absolutely. I actually just got a personal message, final note. Checkered Racing League was actually called International Racing League before. They wanted us to mention that. So thank you for that. All right, so Ford, we are almost done with our broadcast, but we're not done yet because we still got one more important thing to do tonight. You know what that is?
Selecting the tracks.
Absolutely.
Random selects.
Random select those tracks. So here's what we've done, drivers. We created a list of all of the 1.5 mile tracks because, as you guys have probably found out from your league owners, this competition is based on rounds. So each round has a certain theme, and that theme is based on the type of track. So we've chosen round 1 to be the 1.5 mile round, mainly because a lot of the NASCAR schedule is based on 1.5 miles. There's so many more of those than any other type. So basically what we're going to do is punch all those 1.5 miles in there, and we're going to just keep randomly picking them until we've got a track for each of all the matchups. So let's not waste any time. Let's get started. So our first matchup was, if you remember from early in the broadcast, Fast Family versus Game Fuel. Which track will that one be? It will be at... Oh, that's going to be a good one. It's at Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Oh, boy. That's going to be a fun one. Atlanta, baby. Yeah, it's... Cannot wait for that one. Atlanta's definitely one of my favorite 1.5 miles. Definitely the most competitive. Cannot wait for that one. So that'll be our first matchup. Fast Family cannot wait for Game Fuel. Let's go to Atlanta. Cannot wait. Let's have some fun. All right. Our next matchup, if you remember, Checkered Chasers League versus Wolfpack. Where will they be racing? They will be racing at Kansas. Wow.
Kansas.
The Highline track. Oh boy. That is going to be a good one. What do you like? Absolutely. We are picking one for every matchup. What do you think, Ford, about Kansas? Yeah, no, we did have a question. Sorry, Ford. We did have a question. It's not going to be the same track for every matchup. No, we want to keep it interesting, keep it fun, so you'll never know what you're going to see next. You don't know what the track's going to be, not the same one 2 nights in a row, so we want to see some action here. So go ahead, Ford.
Yeah, Kansas is a very fun track, and that Highline is definitely going to be killer, and we're going to watch people scrape that wall, maybe bunch up the pack a little bit. Definitely a drafting track, so you can put down some good lap times, on that track on the Highline drafting. You can also dive bomb to the bottom line there and do a little slide job move. It's definitely going to be some fun racing on Kansas.
Absolutely. Ward Burton says, "Are you ready?" I said, "Are you ready?" I think he's referring to SpongeBob. I'm not sure, but regardless, Wolfpack Racing says Wolfpack is good at Kansas and the Highline. Cannot wait. Let's go. All right,
yeah.
So our next matchup is IVRL versus Down South Racing, and they're going to be at Texas. Texas, that's going to be a tough one, and I think those boys are up to the challenge. Yeah, watch out for turn 4, boys. That's going to be a good one. Are we counting Homestead as a 1.5 miles? Yes, we are, Colin. We are counting it as a 1.5 miles.
Good question.
All right. Next matchup.
Man, whoever's talking about eggs, bacon, and sausage in the chat, and no hash browns, corned beef hash, man, y'all are making me hungry. I'm about to go raid the refrigerator.
There you go. All right, so now our next matchup is Carolina versus Quarantine, and they're going to be going to my favorite 1.5 miles, Chicagoland. That's going to be a fantastic one. Elmut Gaming, no, Darlington is not a 1.5 miles. I apologize. It is actually the same distance as, I believe, Gateway. It's just banked. So it's one of those tracks in between. So it is not part of this. But yeah, Chicago will be Carolina versus Quarantine. Urge to Rush, don't worry. There will be some repeats because there's so many matchups here. So Chicago might be coming your way. But for right now, Carolina and Quarantine, that is your track. All right, moving on. Our next matchup is going to be SXRL versus All Out. This is going to be a good one, and it's going to be at none other than probably the most famous mile and a half, Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Absolutely. Home of the All-Star race for so many years until this year. Fantastic track. Multiple lanes. Cannot wait to see those guys on that one. Definitely going to be a good race to watch.
That's another one where you get loose out of 4.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Absolutely.
Be a little bit challenging for some.
So while we'll see and your boys at Wild Sports, if you're watching, you and Unbound are the next matchup, and you guys are going to be racing at, drum roll, Homestead. Wow,
Homestead.
One of the most competitive of all mile and a halves, used as the championship race for so many years in NASCAR for good reason. Definitely can run pretty much any line there and be fast. So that is going to be a wild race.
Loose out of 2 and loose out of 4.
All right. So Ford, the next matchup is between your home league of eSpark and GSL. Where are they going to be? They're going to be at Kentucky. Kentucky, one of the, in my opinion, toughest mile and a halves there is. Definitely challenging. 2 different corners. James says, let's go eSpark. And Big John saying, let's go. Well, you guys know what that means. There's only 1 mile and a half left, and our next matchup is UTR, and a little on the high side, they're going to another one of those really competitive mile and a halves, Las Vegas. So get your gambling chips out. You're going to Vegas, boys.
That's definitely a fun track. You got the high line there too, and the low line. They both work. And with the right help, you can make fast laps around that high and middle line. That's going to be a fun race to watch.
Absolutely. That's going to be definitely one of my favorites. All right, our next matchup, American Ethanol versus Impact Racing League. Where will they go? All of the tracks are on the board again because we have just run out, so we are going back. Which one is it going to be? We are going to Homestead again. Homestead for that one. Wow, I cannot wait for that one. Those are 2 great leagues and a great track. Wow. What an amazing matchup that's going to be. All right. Next we have. Go ahead, Ford. Did you have something to say?
No.
All right. Next is ENEA versus 3 Wide. Ford, which one are you hoping this one's gonna be?
Man, that's a tough call. I know guys in both those leagues. I'd have to flip a coin on that one.
Well, they're going to go to a challenging one. We're back horse racing at Kentucky.
Kentucky. Ooh.
Bring your horsepower, boys. We're going Kentucky Derby racing. All right. Next, one of the more interesting ones as well. RSR versus Mountain Dew Southern Series. Where are they going to go? Let's find out. They're going to... Someone's saying Kentucky. Oh, gosh. Oh, yes.
Oh, my gosh.
They are going to Vegas. RSR versus
Another
Mountain Dew
Vegas.
Southern Series at Las Vegas. What a great one. So that is our second Vegas matchup. So we are winding down the list. Our next matchup, Palmetto versus Hatch Racing League. Where are they going to go? Someone says eSpark is goated at Kentucky. Well, we'll see. You can bring it. And they're going to Atlanta. We're back at Hotlanta for the Palmetto versus Hatch Racing League. Alright, someone says question for the high side versus UTR matchup. Are we doing day or night? That's a great question. To keep it very spicy, we are going to make sure that if a track has a night race, which a lot of them do, we're going night racing, boys. So get ready for that. You can practice that now. If your track has a night race, we're going to it. Alright, so we just got done with Palmetto and Hatch at Atlanta. So that's going to be an exciting one. Next, Pure Speed versus Above Average NASCAR Heat 4 Friends, or Saturday Night Showdown. Where are they going? Where do you think this one's going to be, Ford? See if you can get one.
I'm thinking Charlotte.
Oh, the other C, Chicagoland.
Chicagoland.
So close. So Pure Speed, and I know, although they are on setups, they just recently went to Chicagoland at one of their league races, so they're going to be ready to come back to this one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's fresh on their mind.
Oh, yes it is. Alright, our next matchup, Full Throttle versus the Hybrid. Where will they go? Well, if you guess Charlotte, you know you got another chance at it. Good luck. Better hope the eSpark buys don't show. GSL, some little bit of trash talking going on. Let's keep it respectful, but
keep it friendly.
It's gonna be interesting. Texas, we're going to.
I'm thinking the next one.
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna pick Kansas.
Well, you would have been strike 2. You can get this. I know you can get the next one. Texas for those boys. Gonna be a good one. Texas, a very challenging track, as we said. Someone said I can't breathe. I hope you can't breathe with excitement and not a medical problem. Alright, so this is one of the other long-awaited ones. NNR versus All-American Grand National League. Where will they be going? Well, there's only 2 tracks on the board.
Charlotte.
You got a 50-50 shot on this one, Ford.
Yeah, I know. Can I phone a friend?
Yeah, can you? And you're wrong. It's Kansas. Ah. Of course.
I should have phoned the friend.
Yeah, you should have. Oh, but I'm sure the NNR boys and the All-American boys are going to be ready for that one. Kansas, tough track. Definitely a tough
Will Ford
track.
strike out? Looking.
Will Ford? Well, I think you can get this one, Ford.
I strike that.
Where is Ultra and Nasbro's going to? You tell me.
I'm gonna have to ask the audience.
Oh, come on now.
Charlotte.
Ward Burton said he struck out looking. Yeah, he did. Yep, these boys in the Ultra and Nasbro's are going to Charlotte. So that'll be the end of that list. So that is the second Charlotte. Our producer was wondering where Charlotte was. SXRL versus All Out are going to Charlotte as well. So 2 great ones. Oh, our producer saying SXRL first upset. Ooh, interesting. So All Out is getting a shout out there. All right. Yeah, Pop says give Ford a lifeline, please. Absolutely. All right, so we've only got a couple matchups to go. And we are going to have to reset the board. So all the tracks are back on the list again. Let's see. Our next matchup is going to be NAOR, North American Online Racing versus Days of Thunder. Where are they going? I know these boys are ready for all these tracks. And excited to find out which one it's going to be. It's going to be Kansas. Very
Kansas,
good
another
track.
Kansas.
Another Kansas. So the random generator definitely liking Kansas, but it's definitely a great track to race at. So I cannot wait to see that one. NAOR definitely is excited about that. I know Days of Thunder is also. So cannot wait for that one. As we move on, we got Ultimate Racing League versus Left Turn Loonies. GSL says, bring on Miami. Alright. They are going to Chicago. So that's our third Chicago. I'm glad that Chicago has 3 races in this series because it is definitely one of my favorite, definitely one of the most racy tracks on the mile and a half. So that'll be exciting. So look out for that one. Next, we have Rowdy Energy versus OMA, Online Motorsports Association. All right, Ford, I'll give you another one. Which one is this one going to be? You got this. Our producer says Kansas. He's going to be wrong because it's off the board.
Yeah, it's already off the board. I'm gonna say the Kentucky Derby.
Kentucky Derby, he's right.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Wow, it's out of the park. He struck out, but he came right back. Kentucky. Pop says home track. Cannot wait.
Nice.
All right,
Nice.
Awesome. Next, but
Home
second
field
to
advantage.
last, we have Sprite Cup Series versus Exalta. Where will this one be, Ford? I'm going to give you another shot. Got some momentum. Producer's saying Homestead. Yes, this one's on the board.
Producer's saying
this time.
Homestead. I'm saying Texas.
He's saying Texas. Oh, it's Homestead.
Damn it.
Oh. 1 for 2. All right, we got one final matchup for you guys. No, there is definitely not 3 tracks to choose from. There's quite a few mile and a half. So, Sprite. Oh, KGD says Sprite better bring a mop. Uh-oh. We'll see. All right, so our last matchup, it's the Shake and Bake Racing League versus Virtual NASCAR Racing League. Where will the final race be? I want to hear from both of you guys. What's the last guess of the night?
Vegas.
I'm hearing Vegas from Ford.
What about you, Fry? Where's it gonna be?
What does our producer say?
Oh, he's out of the party. So let's just roll it.
He's out of the party. Well, guess what, Ford? You win the $1 million. Las Vegas it is.
Nice.
Wow, 2 out of 3. Las Vegas. All right. So
Beat that, Fry.
That is, yeah, I'm sure. All right, everybody. That is your tracks. We will post a full listing, hopefully tomorrow, with all the bracket matchups and the tracks. We will have this broadcast still on my Twitch if you want to watch it back and you don't want to wait for us to post it for your owners. But definitely not wait for this. Just a shout out, or not a shout out, but I guess an update. Registration closes July 10th, so we need all of your rosters by July 10th, or you will not be participating. Also, the next scheduled date for that is we will be having racing start July 24th, so that's a couple weeks after the release of Heat 5. So cannot wait. Heat 5 is going to be an amazing game. Cannot wait to get this thing rolling. Watch out for the NASCAR community and the Discord. Once we get all the drivers in, we'll start pumping out some promos with some matchups. We'll start talking to your league owners to get some days and times for these matchups. Ford's definitely going to be busy with that.
Yeah, if you haven't got me your availability days, please shoot that over to me, because that's actually going to make it easier for us to try to match all up as far as your race days. Times can, we can work that out. Some people have different times, but your race days, oh, that will definitely make it easier to match all up. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
absolutely. We
appreciate everybody listening
yep.
and commenting in the chat. We definitely had a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah,
I did.
thank you guys. You guys were super active in the chat. We were so happy we had all this turnout. Thank you guys for making this community great. I cannot wait to get this tournament rolling. After seeing these matchups, it's going to be so exciting. So, thank you guys for showing up. We will be back with another broadcast, I'm sure, giving you guys some updates soon. No timetable for that yet, but thank you guys for showing up. And we will see you soon at race day. So, stay tuned. This is Mr. Slide
Good
Job
night, fellas.
1996 and Ford Tough signing off.
AARL.